Thank you all so much. Good morning, American University. How y'all doing? What an amazing honor. Please let me begin by thanking Dean Wilkins, President Burwell, and the Board of Trustees. Give it up for them. I am truly grateful and humbled to accept this honorary degree. And let me just say, this moment is proof yet again in my life that America is indeed a place of opportunity. All right, to the class of 2022, the time to breathe a deep sigh of relief has arrived, y'all. Okay, all of those late nights, early mornings, and Zoom calls, they are finally over. You have made it to the finish line. Congratulations, give it up. And let's be very honest, we all know that without the love and support of your friends and family, none of y'all would have made it to this point today. So to every mom, dad, and bonus parent, to all the aunties, uncles, nanas, and papas out there, every friend, neighbor, and distant cousin who pushed their way into this arena today, we salute you. This is for all the Venmo payments. This is for the Cash Apps, the Instacart orders. It was all well worth it. But I have to caution you not to get too comfortable because these are SPA graduates after all, and they are going into public service, okay? And we all know what that means. They're going to be broke. And they will probably be broke for some time to come. But I am here to tell y'all, I am living testament that after the hard work, after the commitment, there is a check on the other side, y'all. Just hold on. Just hold on. I learned at a very young age that if you're going to talk for a living and expect folks to invite you back to speak again, there are three things you need to do. You need to get up, speak up, and everyone's favorite, you need to shut up. So with that in mind, it has been said that commencement speakers, they really only have two jobs. And the first job is don't bore graduates and families out of their mind. And the second is leave the graduates with some advice. Now, I do think I've got the first job down, and don't you worry, I won't be up here too long. After all, folks need to get to brunch, and I have a TV show to host, okay? You can catch my new show, Symone, live on MSNBC Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. And don't y'all forget about streaming Mondays and Tuesdays on Peacock all week. So I'm going to make sure you all get out of here on time. But as for the second job, let's get down to business. Before we move further, I would like to address the fact that 5 judges on the Supreme Court are planning to rob women of the ability to make decisions about their own bodies, about the health care that they need. This is a watershed moment for our nation, and I want to be extremely clear. A woman's right to govern her body is hers and hers alone, not the politicians, and definitely not the courts. This is an all-hands-on-deck moment, folks. To the women of America, please hear me. This fight is far from over. The Supreme Court decision is not final yet, so folks have work to do. In this moment, elected officials at all levels must use every power that they have to protect women's ability to make decisions about their bodies. Now, that means that some of y'all are going to need to apply pressure. This fight has never been more urgent. Now is the time to make our voices heard because, mark my words, this is just the first step. They're coming for our other rights next, the right to privacy, the right to marry who we want to marry, the right to an education. No one can afford to sit this one out, and this is a fight that I believe will define all of us for generations to come. Graduates, this past week is in fact proof that you are graduating during a time of crisis and uncertainty. A global pandemic we have yet to get under control, an economy struggling to bounce back, racial reckoning that has long been overdue, the greatest threat to democracy we have seen in a generation, and an unprecedented assault on civil and human rights. Now, I know that is a dark list, okay, to rattle off on graduation day, but these are the facts. But I'm not here this morning to focus on what has gone wrong. Nope, no. I am here because my heart is so full of hope. Hope that every single graduate under the sound of my voice will go head over heels into the work that you will come to love, work that will give you purpose, work that will make the world a better place. And of course, I am talking about the work of public service. Can we make some noise for public service? Public service is more than just a career, it is a calling. And it is a calling that SPA graduates have accepted. So in the time that I have left, I want to share a few lessons I have learned about public service that just might help you along the way. Is that all right? All right. But before we move forward, there are a few misconceptions that we need to dispel. The public servants you stream online or catch on cable news or the people that you have seen in your classrooms might make it seem like that politics is all high-end receptions, backroom deals, and hobnobbing with reporters. Now, there is, in fact, a little bit of that. But at the end of the day, public service is hard work. Which brings me to lesson 1, graduates. The road ahead will not be easy. There's a reason for that. Public servants work for the government and the people. They take on some of the biggest problems facing our society and democracy, and it's all done in public. Okay, I was there. And here's the thing about these problems, y'all. They demand big solutions. But more often than not, those very big solutions do not just manifest themselves. Public servants have to push. They have to work. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. So yes, the fight for social, racial, and economic justice is an uphill battle. And I'm not telling you what I've heard, I'm telling you what I know to be true. People like to think that I just popped up out of nowhere one day as the National Press Secretary for Senator Bernie Sanders on his presidential campaign, and nothing could be farther from the truth. You know, I cut my teeth in politics, working for a boutique political firm, and I learned every single thing that I could. I took a job at a trade association. I hated it. I knew nothing about trade. It was hard. I stood in the gap as an advocate for juvenile justice. I showed young candidates how to move hearts and minds, and together, that is how we built political power. I did the work, and it was not easy, but I pushed through hard times and even harder jobs because I was crystal clear that the road would not be easy. And to this day, the only reason that I really think I made it is because of lesson number 2. You see, lesson number 2, we're moving right along. Lesson number 2, graduates, is that nobody makes it on their own. I did not get to the height of American politics by walking over a bed of roses. In fact, the road that I traveled was full of thorns and pebbles, cracks, and a fair amount of traps, okay, that were deliberately laid in my way, if I do say so myself. And were it not for the love and support of my inner circle, my mother who reminds me that the dream is bigger than I could ever imagine, my sisters who call me in and call me up to excellence, my loving fiance who is my safe space and my rock, were it not for these loving hearts, I don't think I could have made it this far. And it is very important that as you embark on this journey, that as you answer this call for public service, that you find the circle that supports you and that you lock those people in. It is the only way you are going to make it through sane. And class of 22, we need y'all with all of your wits about you in this game because the stakes, they're just too high. Which brings me to the 3rd and final lesson. In public service, every single fight matters. And let me tell you why. You're graduating during a time of tremendous crisis, and there is so much on the line. In the wealthiest nation on earth, we are still fighting for health care. We're still fighting for child care, livable wages, and reproductive rights. Basic human rights are on the line. It is 2022, and we're still having this argument about who should be able to breathe clean air and drink clean water. The answer is everyone. It's a no-brainer, but the fact is that climate change is still on the line. You know, I was on the Hill on January 6th. I was with the Vice President that day. And let me just tell you, the thing that keeps me up at night is the fact that the insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol, they went back home. They went back to communities, and they are now running for public office. Democracy, ladies and gentlemen, is on the line. So now more than ever, it matters who is in public office. It matters who is behind the scenes doing the work of the people. Because let me let you in on a little secret, okay? There are a lot of people in this business who are more concerned with building power for themselves than doing good with it. And many of those people, they are out there hoping and praying that those of us who have committed ourselves to the calling of public service will get tired and just give up. They want you to shut up. You know who they are? Okay, they are the wealthy, the well-connected, those with privilege and power, and you know how they get down. They pit white people against black people, straight people against gay people, people born here against people who came as immigrants. They use hate to distract and divide us because so long as they can divide us, so long as they can make us think our interests are opposed, they can keep all the money and all the power to themselves. But I am here today with a message for those who have become comfortable, those who are addicted to hoarding power and influence. Enough is enough. Led by the class of 2022, there is an army of bold and brilliant change makers who are rising. A host of warriors leading from the heart who have answered the true call to public service. And y'all are in this thing for the long haul. Y'all know the road ahead won't be easy, and you know they won't be able to make it on your own. But because every single fight is worth it, together, you will reject the false choice of division that pits one group against another. You will fight for a better life for every American. You will declare that in America, every vote, everywhere, every single time matters. And I know that y'all are going to take on generations of structural racism in this country and build an economy that works for every last one of us. Why do I know this? Because it is not a choice, it is mandatory. And to the cynics and the naysayers out there, because they do exist, who think that service needs to look or sound or feel a certain way, well, I'm here to tell you, I am Symone D. Sanders. I'm a bald black girl from North Omaha, Nebraska, with a big mouth and even bigger dreams. And I say that the time for change is now. Class of 2022, in just a few minutes, you are going to walk across this stage for your diploma. And you'll embrace friends and you'll embrace family, and many of you will head to brunch, and when you get home, you'll start to turn in keys and say goodbye to friends as they head to the airport to begin their new lives. In these final moments you have with each other, my hope is that you will make a firm commitment to one another, that you will make a firm commitment to public service, a commitment to stay in the fight. I assure you, it will all be worth it. To the class of 2022, congratulations. Let's get these degrees. Thank you.